Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram
I've got a
Hare
program for
Hare
2 hours
Krishna Krishna Hare
on
Hare
production,
Hare
so
Ram
I can't do anything right now.
Hare Hare
I'll be on.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Rama,
Ram, Ram,
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Ram, Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram, Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Ram, Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram, Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Ram, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Hare.
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Ram,
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram,
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Hare.
Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Chant and be happy.
Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and welcome everyone globally to our Sunday morning Srimad Bhagavatam class being presented by reading from the Delhi Bhagavatams, which we are now currently distributing globally. We have some innovative ideas of how to increase that distribution. And I had a wonderful talk with our logistics director, Ron Singh, yesterday. And it's funny, when you start this dialogue with people, you get ideas. It's discussing Krishna consciousness, preaching work. These ideas come up, how to do it. And we're going to work on those things this week and hopefully motivate people who are serious about Krishna consciousness to help us distribute these Bhagavatams. This is not just a whimsical thing. A lot of time, energy, and effort has gone into this opportunity for people to get the Delhi Bhagavatams. Yes, and it's a very important thing that we're doing. Now, people talk about preaching, but practical preaching is book distribution. Because there is so much confusion nowadays because of the misrepresentation of the disciplic succession by our God brothers, and in some cases, God sisters, where they're posing themselves, posturing themselves, and pretending to be bona fide spiritual masters when they're not. This is serious. And some people don't get it. And we see all the time, and I've mentioned this many times, Yashoda, bridge preaching. What is this thing that's going on in Prabhupada's mission, what was Prabhupada's mission, where what is bridge preaching? Watered down motivational speaking. They're not preachers, they're motivational speakers. And not only do they just go to the mundane aspects of preaching, they even wander into the world of Mayavadi philosophy. Right in front of our ears and eyes, we can see it when they post their information online. Mayavadi. That is like spiritual suicide, Prabhupada said. You're killing your soul. And these people are killers of the soul. And they will enter into the darkest regions of ignorance, known as the planets of the faithless. This is a serious matter, Vijaya Pandit. And the problem is, most people don't think it is. Look at, for example, we're telling the truth of the matter, and how many people participate? Well, we have a really developing a momentum, but still, out of 7 billion people, how many people are serious? Hardly anybody. And especially those people that were involved in ISKCON. They're not serious at all about protecting Prabhupada's legacy. And we're going to talk about this further. This point of worker for hire. What Yashoda politely said, well, it was some kind of legal jargon that they use to justify what they're doing. Let's look at it from another point of view. It isn't legal. It was a calculated move by certain self-motivated people to minimize Srila Prabhupada's position and maximize theirs. That's the reality. This is not that people don't think before they act, and especially in this world. This is a thing I had years ago, Ram Raghava. Naivety. I had this Keith Ham come to Toronto and stay in Prabhupada's room with Hayagriva's son, who was 8 years old, sleeping in the same sleeping bag in Prabhupada's room. And I was thinking, oh, well, this is my naivety, Pierangelo. I was thinking, oh, there's no way that this guy could be a pedophile. Naivety. Don't be naive. This is a calculated move. Worker for hire. That's what they called Prabhupada. Whoever did that, whoever wrote those words, who was it? Who did that? That's what we don't know, because everything is a cover-up. The whole thing is a colossal cover-up. And if you think it isn't, you are naive. This is a calculated move by other people that we kind of knew, that were interested in power, prestige, money, and all the other things that go into material life, and thinking that you are the body and that your life is meaningful. It doesn't mean anything in the scope of eternal time. And somehow or other we have arrived in this material world, and we're blessed to be in this environment where we're focusing on how to get out of the repeated cycles of birth and death by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, the bona fide spiritual master. We're 1/10,000th the tip of a hair size, but we think we're important. No, you're not. And this is a bag of blood, pus, stool, and urine you're carrying around, trying to enjoy somehow or other by material concoction and material speculation. I call it the world of dreams. That's what it is. You're dreaming it. Some people are dreaming a lot of things that are kind of crazy, I must say. Crazy. Here, we're going to move forward. So this bridge preaching is going on. And I was looking at these introductory books I was mentioning to you, because some people were coming to me and asking me, well, what book should I read? So you can give them a Gita, okay? Like I got a Gita back in 1971. We had no background what the Gita was, that it was a 3-hour conversation of Krishna speaking to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And I tried to say the word Kurukshetra, and I had no idea what the heck is that? The Battle of Kurukshetra. Some kind of war 5,000 years ago where 650 million people were killed? Wow, is this some kind of fantasy? So the point that I'm making is that a lot of times when you tell people, oh, read the Srimad Bhagavatam. Well, that's a graduate study from Bhagavad Gita. It's not easy for people who have no original exposure to it. Like all of us Western people, we never even heard. I can remember Yashoda. Back in 1969, we had met the devotees. They had come from New York, from Buffalo. It was a guy, Rupanuga, and Lakshmi Moni and that. They came to downtown Hamilton. And I was one of the prominent musicians in the area, so I thought I was somebody. And they came up to me on the street, and I argued with them about their explanation of the philosophy. So they disappeared, and we had no contact with East India, no contact with Krishna, nothing. Just this Sankirtan party showed up one day. And then subsequently, things evolved, and eventually we got the Bhagavad Gita from the Mac library. Some young men that used to be fans of ours stole it from the Mac library. They stole the book and brought it to Uttama Shloka, and he started reading it and making all the charts and explanations of the philosophy, and he started to explain it to other people. He thought, here, because he tapped into the truth from Srila Prabhupada. But outside of that, we had no background, zero. I remember looking around Ram Raghava in Hamilton to see if I could find one East Indian person. I thought, oh, if we meet an East Indian person, maybe he could become our guru. How stupid. But at any rate, step by step, we got this mercy. Krishna plucked us all out of the material world with Prabhupada's book, the Bhagavad Gita. But we had very little background. When I got my initiation as Vishwakarma, I had never heard Vishwakarma Das. I had never heard that name in my entire life. And Prabhupada says, oh, now you're Vishwakarma Das. Who is that? So we had no background. So these books that Prabhupada, that they published, the ISKCON people, and they did a very poor job of them. Okay? Very poor. There's no background into Prabhupada's history here. There's no background into his philosophical position as a bona fide spiritual master. And every word that he speaks is Shastra. There's no explanation of that. All there is I can't open it up, but it's just a few things at the beginning. Here it goes. It gives the contents, and then the author, some kind of weak explanation of the author of these books. Very weak. Why? Because it's calculated deception by these people. It's not, don't be naive. And centers around the world, look at, they're advertising all the centers to say to people, here, come and join us. Oh, come and join us. Yeah, in one sense back then, there was a value in it. Nowadays, it's complete deception. Become the disciple of one of these fake gurus. We're gonna do something to fix this up. By the way, we are. That's on our agenda. And we have a large agenda, which we're gathering and organizing with the help of our God brothers and God sisters that are eager and serious to take up this spiritual practice with the right direction. Not just be walking around thinking, I'm this, I'm that, I know what I'm doing, and they do nothing. So enough of that. This Beyond Birth and Death is a book that it was extracted from lectures based on chapter 2 and 8 of the Bhagavad Gita back in 1966. Now, this is what I call real bridge preaching, not changing the philosophy to get followers, but to give people a chance to get over the problem of understanding what is this philosophy and how to further lead yourself into studying the Gita, the Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita from Srila Prabhupada as things unfolded in the Sankirtan movement he created. It's a step-by-step process. If you think you can figure it out on your own, go ahead and try. This is done by a group of Vaishnavas who are disciples of Srila Prabhupada, both past and present. And everyone here is certainly a valuable asset in Prabhupada's mission, no question. And we're going to read from this We're going to read from the Beyond Birth and Death today. We're going to read the whole book, step by step, Rochesha Devi Dasi. Not all of it today, because we have many sections of our program that we want all of you to relish as we move forward in these weekly sessions. This is an educational program for serious students of this philosophy. And you're going to see when I read this how, in fact, I was, Rochesha Devi Dasi, when I was reading this this week, you know, I have all these projects because I bring small books with me on the plane. I have all these projects. I start to read them and I think, I had been planning to read this. And I started reading it. I thought, gee, this is ecstatic. This is really nectar. This really helps me in my neophyte stage. It helps me understand why I'm doing what I'm doing every day of my life nowadays. Why am I doing this? Why do I put up with all of these problems that we are encountering with people, with money, and other difficulties that we encounter in our preaching work? This is not just automatic, everything just unfolds. Don't be naive to think that things unfold this way just because you snap your finger. No, it's not that way. It unfolds because people put time and energy and hard work into it. And it's evolving by the mercy of Krishna. And we'll go to this, please. Enough of that. Go ahead. Ram Raghava, please bring it up. Thank you.
What page?
Page 1. We are not the bodies. Dehi no nityam avadyoyam dehi sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam sochitam arhasi. Prabhupada, so-called bridge preaching. O descendant of Bharat, he who dwells in the body is eternal and can never be slain. Therefore, you need not grieve for any creature. Bhagavad Gita 2:30. The very first step in self-realization is realizing one's identity as separate from the body. I'm not this body, but I am spirit soul, is an essential realization for anyone who wants to transcend death and enter into the spiritual world beyond. It is not simply a matter of saying I'm not this body, but of actually realizing it. This is not as simple as it may seem at first. Although we are not these bodies, but our pure consciousness, somehow or other we have become encased with the bodily dress. Now remember, 1966, Prabhus, when he was first preaching to the new people, if we actually want the happiness and independence that transcend death, we have to establish ourselves and remain in our constitutional position as pure consciousness. Living in the bodily conception, our idea of happiness is like that of a man in delirium. Some philosophers claim that this delirious condition of bodily identification should be cured by abstaining from all action. Because these material activities have been a source of distress for us, oh yes, they claim that we should actually stop these activities. Their culmination of perfection is in a kind of Buddhistic nirvana in which no activities are performed. Buddha maintained that due to a combination of material elements, this body has come into existence, and that somehow or other, if these material elements are separated or dismantled, the cause of suffering is removed. If the tax collector gives us too much difficulty because we happen to possess a large house, one simple solution is to destroy the house. However, Bhagavad Gita indicates that this material body is not all in all. Beyond this combination of material elements, there is spirit, and the symptom of that spirit is consciousness. Consciousness cannot be denied. Concentrate, everyone. A body without consciousness is a dead body. As soon as consciousness is removed from the body, the mouth will not speak, the eye will not see, nor the ears hear. A child can understand that. It is a fact that consciousness is absolutely necessary for the animation of the body. What is this consciousness? Just as heat or smoke are symptoms of fire, so consciousness is the symptom of the soul. That's what I was trying to say yesterday. The energy of the soul or self is produced in the shape of consciousness. Indeed, consciousness proves that the soul is present. This is not only the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, but the conclusion of all Vedic systems, Vedic literature. So see how Prabhupada is introducing us properly to this philosophy. The impersonalist school of Ācārya, as well as the Vaishnavas following in the disciplic succession from Lord Sri Krishna, acknowledge the factual existence of the soul, but the Buddhist philosophies do not. The Buddhists contend that there is a certain stage, the combination of matter produces consciousness, but this argument is refuted by the fact that although we may have all the constituents of matter at our disposal, we cannot produce consciousness from them. We're not the bodies. All the material elements may be present in a dead man, but we cannot revive that man to consciousness. This body is not like a machine. When a part of a machine breaks down, it can be replaced, and the machine will work again. But when the body breaks down and consciousness leaves the body, there's no possibility of replacing the broken part and rejuvenating the consciousness. Beautiful, isn't it? Simple examples. And Prabhus, my recommendation is memorize this and explain it to other people exactly this way, no change. The soul is different from the body. As long as the soul is there, the body is animate. But there is no possibility of making the body animate in the absence of the soul. And this was spoken in 1966. Beyond time, it's eternal time in truth. Because we cannot perceive the soul by our gross senses, we deny it. Actually, there are so many things that are there which we cannot see. We cannot see air, radio waves, or sound, nor can we perceive minute bacteria with our blunt senses. But this does not mean they are not there. By the aid of the microscope and other instruments, many things can be perceived which had previously been denied by the imperfect senses. Just because the soul, which is atomic in size, Joe Felice, has not been perceived yet by the senses or instruments, we should not conclude that it is not there. It can, however, be perceived by its symptoms and effects. In Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna points out that all of our miseries are due to false identification with the body. Matra sparsas tu contd, sitoshna, Sukadukada, agama payino nityas, tam statikshashva bharata. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of heat and cold, happiness and distress, and their disappearance in due course, sukha dukkha, are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception. O Skiyana Bharat, one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. Tam statik shashva bharata. In the summertime, we may feel pleasure from contact with water but in the winter, we may shun that very water because it's too cold. In either case, the water is the same, but we perceive it as pleasant or painful due to its contact with the body. Over and over again, explaining we're not the body. All feelings of distress and happiness are due to the body. Under certain conditions, the body and mind feel happiness and distress. Factually, we are hankering after happiness, yes, for the soul's constitutional position is that of happiness. Satchidananda. The soul is part and parcel of the Supreme Person. Oh, here it is. Who is Satchidananda Vigraha, the embodiment of knowledge, bliss, and eternity. Indeed, the very name Krishna, which is non-sectarian, means the greatest pleasure. Kris means greatest, and Na means pleasure. Krishna is the epitome of pleasure, and being part and parcel of him, we hanker for pleasure. A drop of ocean water has all the properties of the ocean itself, and we, although minute particles of the Supreme Whole, have the same energetic properties of the Supreme. The atomic soul, although so small, is moving the entire body to act in so many wonderful ways. In the world, we see so many cities, highways, bridges, great buildings, monuments, and great civilizations. But who has done all this? It is done by the minute spirit spark within the body. If such wonderful things can be performed by the minute spirit spark, can we not begin to imagine what can be accomplished by the Supreme Spirit Whole? Beautiful logic. Try to convince these warped minds. The natural hankering of the minute spirit spark is for the qualities of the whole, knowledge, bliss, and eternity. But these hankerings are being frustrated due to the material body. This information on how to attain the soul's desire is given in Bhagavad Gita. At present, we are trying to attain eternity, bliss, and knowledge by means of an imperfect instrument. Actually, our progress towards these goals is being blocked by the material body. Therefore, we have to come to the realization of our existence beyond the body. Theoretical knowledge that we are not these bodies will not do. We have to keep ourselves always separate as masters of the body, not as servants. If we know how to drive a car well, it will give us good service. But if we do not know how, we will be in danger. The body is composed of senses, and the senses are always hungry after their objects. The eyes are beautiful, are beautiful person and tell us, oh, the eyes see a beautiful person and tell us, oh, there is a beautiful girl, a beautiful boy, let's go see. These ears are telling us, oh, there's some very nice music, let's go hear it. The tongue is saying, oh, there's very nice restaurant with palatable dishes, let's go. In this way, the senses are dragging us from one place to another, and because of this, we are perplexed. Indriyanam hi charatam yan mano nividyate tadasya harati pragyam vaya navam ivambasi. As the boat on the water is swept away by a strong wind, even one of the senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence. Bhagavad Gita 267. Very interesting section. And do you get tired of hearing it, Ram Raghava? Is this something that's repetitive, like the newspaper or your phone and all the information that you get constantly about this thing and that thing? Is it still carry Shakti, divine power? Yes, it does. And if everybody can understand these simple principles so succinctly summarized, what is this bridge preaching? An author for hire, a worker for hire. Who did this? Who are these people that created this misinformation campaign? Obviously, they do not read these books, and they do not understand that everything that is spoken by the pure devotee is Shastra, and it comes directly from Krishna by his divine power. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Let's go, Yashoda, let's go ahead and listen to Prabhupada continue to preach to us and try to wake us up out of this sleeping condition that we're in. All glories to the Sankirtan movement and to all of you. Thank you for coming. Hari Bol.
So, Krishna Bhakti is like that. Full control over the senses. As Krishna has got full control over the senses, similarly, those who are actually Krishna devotees, they have got full control over this. Rishikesh. Just like Ācārya, he is praying, he is speaking. Jadavadhi mama chitta Krishna padaravinde nava nava dhama rantu mamashi. Since I began to feel transcendental bliss being taken shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, Jadavadhi mama chitta Krishna padaravinde, Krishna padaravinde, the lotus feet of Krishna. Since my chitta, my heart has been attracted by the lotus feet of Krishna, Tadavadhi vatanari sangame. Since then, as soon as I think of sex life, bhavati mukha vikara, I hate, I spite of it. This is Krishna Bhakti. Krishna Bhakti is like that. Bhakti paresanubhava virakti annatra. This most attractive feature in this material world is sex. That is the foundation of material life. All these people are working so hard day and night only for that sex enjoyment. They have taken so much risk. They are working kurmis. They are working so hard. What is their pleasure of life? The pleasure of life is sex. Janamaithanadi grihamedi sukham mitucham. Very abominable activities, but that is their pleasure. This is material life. So, Krishna is not like that. But the rascal, they paint pictures, and that pictures are very much appreciated. That Krishna is embracing gopis. And somebody was telling me that who came? Krishna's picture. So, when Krishna is killing Putana, that picture they will not paint. Or killing Kamsa. Or Krishna has got so many pictures. These pictures they will not, the artists. They will simply paint the pictures. His confidence in dealing with the gopis. One who cannot understand Krishna, what is Krishna, which Vasudev has described what is Krishna in 9 cantos, to understand Krishna. And then, in the 10th canto, he begins the birth advent of Krishna. But these rascals, they jump over immediately to the Ras Leela. First of all, understand Krishna. Just like if you become a friend of some very big man, so first of all, try to understand him. Then you will try to understand his family affairs or confidential things. But these people jump over to the Ras Leela and misunderstand. And therefore, they sometimes say Krishna is immoral. How Krishna can be immoral? By accepting, by chanting Krishna's name, the immoral persons are becoming moral and Krishna is immoral. Just see the foolishness. Simply by chanting Krishna's name, all immoral persons are becoming moral and Krishna is immoral. And that is spoken by a rascal professor.
We talked about this yesterday, Vijaya Pandit, where there's a video being presented on Hare Krishna TV that says that Krishna is a party god. That's on Hare Krishna television, sponsored by the ISKCON group. Here we just heard the philosophy correctly explained by Srila Prabhupada to understand that Krishna is not part of the material world and the material illusion that you can be happy by practicing animal life through sex. Animal life, sophisticated dogs and cats. This is going on. Prabhupada used to say that. In the name of religion. This is a big mistake. And it's being propagated by people that are claiming to be gurus and don't follow the regulated principles. Think about it. And behind the closed door, they're carrying on with all kinds of nonsense. And yet they're presenting themselves as Diksha, guru. This is a great sin. And we'll talk about that philosophically. And you can look it up online, if you're interested. Otherwise, we'll keep going. And we're going to move to our next section, which is the chanting of Jaya Radha Madhava, And Prabhupada will sing, and we'll chant along with him, Bhakti Vaibhav in Bombay. And then after that, we're going to have our reading and discussion from the original Delhi Bhagavatams that we are participating, and they're behind Ram Raghava's background. They're in his background. And I'm working with Mother Shrestha on producing the advertising materials for this program, and then we're going to launch it into the society because we are not distributing these books right now. It's stopped because of whatever. So you can think about that And if you want to help, let us know. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Let's go ahead with the chanting and the reading and discussion.
Sai. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janavandana Yashodanandana Braja Janavandana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha समाज भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय, प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद से अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्त श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गौ गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिवर्धन की जय, वृंदावन धाम की जय, नवद्वीप धाम की जय, स्वामी तो भक्त बिंद की जय, गंगा माई की जय, जमुना माई की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, स्वामी तो भक्त बिंद की जय. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. From Srimad Bhagavatam 1:1:1. Narayanam namaskritya. Narayanam namaskritya. Naram cheva narottamam. Naram cheva narottamam. Devim saraswatim vyasam. Devim saraswatim vyasam. Tato jayam mudirayat. Tato jayam mudirayat. One should utter the means of conquest, Srimad Bhagavatam, after offering respectful obeisances, 1, to the personality of Godhead Narayana, 2, to the Narayana Rishi, who is the supermost human being, 3, to the Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, then 4, to Srila Vyasadeva, the author, from Srimad Bhagavatam 1-4. Welcome everyone to this reading and discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. As we do every week, we will be reading from the original New Delhi Bhagavatam, and all synonyms, translations, and purports are from His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Ācārya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, also known as the Krishna Consciousness Movement. We'll be reading a few selected verses first from the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, second chapter, which explains the meaning and the benefit of hearing this powerful transcendental literature. Yadanudyasina yukta karma granti nibandanam chindanti kuvidastasya kona kuryat kataratim. Intelligent persons do cut off the internet of the knot of reactionary work by remembrance of the personality of Godhead. Therefore, who will not give attention to his message? Sushrushoho sradadhanasya vasudeva kataruchihi syanmahatsevaya vipra punyatirtha nishevanat. O the twice-born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely freed from all ranges of vice, a standard of great service is done. And as the result of such great service, affinity in the messages of Vasudeva is made possible. Shrinvatam svakata Krishna punyasravana kirtanaha Hridyantasto hyabhadrani vidhunoti suritsatam. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is also the Paramatma in everyone's heart and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, thus cleanse the desire for material enjoyment in the heart of the devotee, who has developed the urge for hearing his, Krishna's messages, which are themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. Nashta prayesha babadrishu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. by regular attendance in the Bhagavatam class or rendering service unto the pure devotees, all that is inauspicious in the heart of a candidate becomes destroyed almost to nil, and thus loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, comes into being an irrevocable fact. Tadarajastamo bhava kama loba dayaschaye chetaye terana viddam stitam sattve prasidati. As soon as irrevocable loving service is fixed up in one's heart, at that time the effects of the nature's mode of passion and ignorance, such as lusts, desires, and hankerings, etc., do disappear from one's heart, and he becomes fixed up in a mode of goodness, which makes him completely happy. Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogataha bhagavad tattva vijnanam mukta sangasya jayate. Thus, when one is positively fixed up in a mode of unalloyed goodness, the enlivened-minded man affected by contact of devotional service of the Lord can positively know scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead in the stage of liberation from all material association. Vidyate hridaya grantis chidyante sarvasamshaya kshiyante chasya karmani drishtaevatmanishvare. The knot of one's heart is thus pierced, and all misgivings are cut into pieces. The chain of fruitive actions are terminated along with the seeing of oneself, the dominating factor. We will proceed with our specific verse for today. We are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 7, text number 25, or not 24. It was advertised as number 25. Okay. Tatayam chavataraste bhuvara jihir shaya svanam cha nanaya bhavanam anudhyana cha asakrit tata. Thus, ayam, this, cha, and avatara, incarnation, te, your, bhuvo, of the material world, bara, burden, jihir shaya, for the matter of removing, svanam, of the friends, ananya bhavanam, and of the exclusive devotees, anudhyanaya, for remembering repeatedly, cha, and asakrit, fully satisfied. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. It appears that the Lord is partial to his devotees. Everyone is related with the Lord. He is equal to everyone, and yet he is more inclined to his own men and devotees. The Lord is everyone's father. Nobody can be his father, and yet nobody can be his son. His devotees are his kinsmen, and his devotees are his relations. This is his transcendental pastimes. It has nothing to do with mundane ideas of relations, fatherhood, or anything like that. As mentioned above, the Lord is above the modes of material nature, and as such, there is nothing mundane when we call his kinsmen and relations in devotional service. Om Ajnanati Mirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Meritam Yena Tasmai Shigurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shwanyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Bhakti Siddhanta Shishyaya Bhakti Vedanta Namine Prasannaya Prashantaya Tasme Shigurabe Namaha Bhagavad Vandana Khadyam Guru Vandana Purvakam Kshiram Sharkara Yuktam Kadatehi Visheshataham Adadanastrinam Danteridam Yache Punaha Punaha Srimad Rupa Padam Bhoja Dhulisyam Janma Janmani Amsho Bhagavatusmyaham Sadadaso Asmi Sarvata Tat Kripa Pikshako Nityam Tat Prishta Satkaromishvam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada several times explains that many of the statements of Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita relate specifically, why does Krishna come? What is the purpose of Lord Krishna's appearance? And here we see that Arjuna is worshiping Lord Krishna with these prayers, reiterating or mentioning again, why does Krishna come? It says, thus your descent as an incarnation is just to remove the burden of the world as well as for the benefit of your own men, and especially of those who are your exclusive devotees, who are constantly wrapped in meditation for you. Now, and we know in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 4th chapter, Krishna explains, Yada yada hi dharmasya dhanira bhavati bharata, abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkritam dharma samstapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. This is from the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5 and 6, or 6 and 7, whatever the number is. And Srila Prabhupada explains, let's read the exact translation so we have exactly how Srila Prabhupada translates it. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of your religion, at that time I descend myself. Prabhupada explains in the purport, the word Srijami is significant herein. Srijami cannot be used in the sense of creation, because according to the previous verse, there is no creation of the Lord's form or body, since all of the forms are eternally existent. Therefore, Srijami means that the Lord manifests himself as he is. Although the Lord appears on schedule, namely at the end of Dwapara Yuga, of the 28th millennium of the 8th Manu, in one day of Brahma, further down, please. Still, he has no obligation to adhere to such rules and regulations, because he's completely free to act in many ways at his will. He therefore appears by his own will whenever there is a predominance of religiosity and a disappearance of true religion. Principles of religion are laid down in the Vedas, and any discrepancy in the matter of properly executing the rules of the Vedas makes one irreligious. In the Bhagavatam, it is stated that such principles are the laws of the Lord. Only the Lord can manufacture a system of religion. The Vedas are also accepted as originally spoken by the Lord himself to Brahma from within his heart. Therefore, the principles of dharma or religion are the direct orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. These principles are clearly indicated throughout the Bhagavad Gita. Now again, the point being that it's important for a devotee to understand these basic fundamental principles. Srila Prabhupada dealt many times with these two verses. Just yesterday, I sent an email last night before the class. I actually quoted text number 24 of the 7th chapter because somebody sent notice that's the verse we were covering today, but I guess I was wrong. But part of the preparation for this class was pulling out many of Srila Prabhupada's statements on these two verses of Bhagavad Gita, where Prabhupada explains, where Lord Krishna explains why he comes and what is the purpose. When does he come and what is the purpose of his appearance? It's quite significant. In a lecture on January 21st, 1977, a morning walk conversation in Bhubaneswar, India, January 21st, 1977, Srila Prabhupada explains, so let us, the people are becoming godless. How much degradation. Lord Ramachandra appeared, Lord Krishna appeared, Lord Buddha, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, and many others. And the people of India, they are becoming godless. Why? Do you know what I say? Yada yada hi dharmasya dlanir bhavati bharata tadatmanam srijamyaham. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, text 7. There's another very interesting discussion Srila Prabhupada had in Mayapur, Bengal, India, on February 15th, 1977. This was an evening darshan on February 15th, 1977 at Mayapur, Prabhupada. So this will give impetus to Krishna consciousness movement. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, text 7. Do not be disappointed. Krishna will act through his movement and kill them, these demons. How it will be done, that you cannot know now, but it will be done. Let us remain true soldiers, that's all. The point being that Krishna can make whatever arrangement he wants to spread his transcendental movement. We've seen as part of this story in the Bhagavatam, how Ashwatthama released a Brahmastra weapon, which is a form of nuclear weapon by mantra. And Arjuna, fearing that the whole world would be burned, he released a counteracting weapon, and the heat from these two weapons became unbearable. And Arjuna is praying to Lord Krishna in these prayers. He's praying to him, explaining to him that you are the original personality of Godhead. You know, you are beyond the purview of the material energy and everything. He's explaining Krishna's position and requesting some relief from this glaring, from this burning fire. This is a very important section of Bhagavatam because Ashwatthama had killed the 5 sons of Draupadi while they were sleeping. And Draupadi, being very aggrieved, Arjuna says, I will bring you the head of that miscreant, of that Brahma Bandhu. It's important to note that in this purport, there's a lot of discussions by previous Vaishnava Acharyas, how Ashwatthama was not described as a Brahmana, but as a Brahma Bandhu, one who was a friend of the Brahmana. Although born in a Brahmana family, he was not qualified as a Brahmana, not behaving like a real qualified Brahmana. Nowadays, we have a situation, we have a lot of gurus who are behaving like Guru Bandhus, friend of a bona fide guru, but they're not qualified. We can tell by the concoctions that they manufacture and invent on a regular basis. It is not difficult to see. Anybody with 2 ears and 2 eyes can see the reality of what is going on. It is nothing to be disturbed about because we have the shelter of Srila Prabhupada's Vani incarnation. Those who have concluded that Srila Prabhupada is dead and gone, and that Srila Prabhupada was just a worker for hire, they have no idea, they have no entrance into the sanctity, the purity, and the transcendental nature of Srila Prabhupada's teachings. We mentioned yesterday, as soon as there is personal motivation, It is not possible to understand our Krishna consciousness philosophy. Vishwakarma Prabhu just talked about that. How some people had the audacity and the temerity to file in a copyright office in Washington, D.C., USA, that Prabhupada was just a worker for hire. Just see the intelligence stolen away by Maya. Or they will say, they will explain, I know I've heard their explanation, oh, no, this was just with regards to some copyright technicality. It was not intended to offend Prabhupada. It's just something we had to do to conform to the rules and regulation of the copyright laws. Nonsense. It shows your lack of understanding of the position of the pure devotee. That's why in 1979 in Vrindavan, one of these individuals stated in a GBC meeting where I was personally present, oh, now that Prabhupada is dead, it's not practical to accept him as a guru. It's not accepting reality. Never mind that another GBC sitting beside him almost broke one of his ribs with an elbow told him to shut up. But this is the mentality of the self-appointed Ācārya party. That is the disease. They do not carefully read the books of Srila Prabhupada. I'm not talking about the revised books, the adulterated books, the changed books, the original first edition books. That's what Prabhupada wanted to distribute his knowledge with. This is a very important point. Oh, Ram Raghava's got something on the screen. Okay, here's the actual letter from Srila Prabhupada. In my books, I've tried to explain clearly this simultaneously one and different philosophy, Achintya Veda Veda Tattva, propounded by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But sometimes it happens that this philosophy is given a self-interested interpretation. As soon as personal motivation comes, it is not possible to understand our Krishna conscious philosophy. Now, this is very, very special. Very special. This was a letter to Ishan Prabhu in 1970. Why is it special? Because Prabhupada is giving a warning to his disciples, to his followers, to his students. Do not fall into this trap. Just like if you go into a marsh or a bog, you better be careful what you do. Because if you go in there, you may not come out. You may not come out. I remember as a child, we went north of the St. Lawrence River in Canada to some areas near some lake. And there's some areas where there are some very sticky marshes, some bogs, where it's mud and cattails. Now, if you walk in there, now, they have some animals that go in there, like mooses and other animals, but they have enough power to come out of there. For a human, you get stuck in there, you may not come out. This is the same thing when one misunderstands the position of a pure devotee and the purpose of why the pure devotee has come to this world is very injurious for somebody's spiritual life. Very injurious. Let me tell a little story. I was personally told by one of Prabhupada's servants in late 1976 that the last time that Srila Prabhupada came to Los Angeles, he made a statement that 85% of my disciples are not interested in going back to Godhead. And the Prabhupada servant objected to Prabhupada, oh no, Prabhupada, they want to go back. Prabhupada said, no, they're simply interested in being vegetarian, eating prasadam and going to heaven. They're not serious. At the same time, I was told years later by one devotee who now lives in Florida that he was in Prabhupada's room and Prabhupada told him that 90% of my followers, my leaders, are not following the regulative principles. Now somebody may say, oh, no, they were following. But there is one regulative principle they seem to have misunderstood, the principle of no mental speculation. That is why we're seeing this nonsense, so-called bridge preaching. Where did Prabhupada ever introduce this bridge preaching, this motivational speaking? This is a poor imitation. of Tony Robbins. For those who don't know, Tony Robbins is a very successful, prominent American motivational speaker with a very large following. He's one of the best in the world. It's a poor caricature of what he is preaching. But our business is to preach Bhagavad Gita the way that Srila Prabhupada preached. Just like Prabhupada was explaining. Yada yada hi dharmasya dlanir bhavati bharata. This is the problem when people do not sufficiently hear with a submissive attitude, without personal ambition, what Prabhupada is given. We see so many discrepancies with the behavior of some of these so-called leaders and self-appointed gurus. Why? The answer is not very complicated, and we've discussed that before. We'll discuss it again very briefly. The answer is that Prabhupada was always emphasizing his Vani over his Vapu. We don't neglect Prabhupada's Vapu. We worship Prabhupada's Vapu every day. We offer our respectful obeisances to him. We surrender to him. We read his book. But he has always emphasized that the Vani is more important than Vapu. What do they emphasize? That their Vapu is more important than Prabhupada's Vani. And this is reflected with their whole process of self-importance, self-promotion, their political agenda. If you have the audacity to suggest that Prabhupada is your guru in ISKCON, if you were initiated after 1977, they either will attack you, they will kick you out, or they will remain silent, or give you some nonsense, bogus argument. We have seen this. We have seen this because they've never understood the philosophy properly. They've never understood. Have they read carefully? No. They've changed the books. Instead of reading the books, studying the books, analyzing Prabhupada's books, they've changed them to suit their own personal ambition. Just yesterday, a devotee from Asia sent me it's actually a very nice compilation about the life of Krishnadas Kaviraj. There was some celebration on the Vaishnava calendar of this exalted Vaishnava Ācārya, the compiler of the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And I happened to look at the end. There was the beginning introduction to chapter 1, where Prabhupada talks, or Bhaktivinoda Thakur had been initiated by Jagannath Das Babaji. And that particular edition of Chaitanya Charitamrita has been edited by some self-motivated people who never understood the philosophy. Their explanation, because it did not fit into their understanding of initiation in ISKCON. Our business is to understand the initiation according to Srila Prabhupada, not according to their political agenda. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Very much for your explanation of today's verse. And it's interesting to note that we practice a yoga system, bhakti yoga system, which is based on two principles. And that was expounded by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's called the Sankirtan process. Now, some of you may never have gone on Sankirtan. Yes, it's a fact. But some of us have. And we've experienced door to door, store to store, on the streets, propagating the message of Lord Chaitanya, which is Sankirtan. What is Sankirtan? Vijaya Pandit knows it quite well. There's two parts to Sankirtan. The propagation of the holy name. So you're going out, you're chanting for people on the street to help them get an opportunity to hear the holy name. That's the first thing. You're chanting. Shravanam Kirtanam. Kirtanam, you're chanting the holy name to bless the environment that people are in. with the sound vibration. It's a transcendental aspect of bhakti yoga, not these other yoga systems, not these other processes of Buddhism and other philosophies that people are propagating. It's not that. Lord Chaitanya taught one thing. Is his teachings superior to all other teachings, Vijaya Pandit? Yes, it is. So is the teachings of Christianity important in relation to Sankirtan? No. In fact, even in the Bible, it says, thou shalt not kill, and these people are eating meat every day. And they have no justification for it, just they like it. There's sense gratification. Sankirtan movement. And second part of the Sankirtan movement is the hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam. The hearing of the philosophy, whether it be Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, or these lectures that Prabhupada has left us, all the different aspects of the philosophy. This is what we have to engage in every day as our diet of spiritual maintenance. If you don't eat every day, you can't survive. You can eat a little bit, but you still need to eat. If you don't have water for 7 or 8 days, you could die, correct? I don't know how many days it takes before you leave, but you need to be constantly fed nourishment, spiritual nourishment. And that nourishment, Nilashama, comes by association with Sankirtan devotees. That's how you become fixed up. Not by mental speculation, not you specifically, but by people that think, oh, I can just run any program I want and I'll become fixed up. No, you won't. I have a guy in England, Yashoda, and he sent me a message yesterday. He sends me a message. He's a nice, sentimental guy. And he goes, I'm trying to become fixed up. I said, well, okay. So I thought Mother Shrestha, I thought I'd ask him a question. What is your schedule? What is your schedule then? You're trying to become fixed up. Give me your schedule. So he sends me his schedule. I won't go over it. It has some kind of mental concoction by him. And I wrote back to him, well, thank you for explaining your schedule. It explains who you are. That's what it does. Because time is our most valuable asset. And if we have a schedule and we're using our time intelligently, we'll be able to realize that we're moving in the right direction. So I asked him this question, Neil Sharma. I asked him this question. Do you come to our classes? Well, I read your posts. What posts? Well, I read your posts. I send posts out to everybody that the class is on, maybe to 200 or 300 people every morning when we have our class. I go on Facebook Medium and I send it out. So I said, he goes, I see your posts. Oh, okay, thank you. No, I asked you, do you come to the classes? Because for me, I understand why he is so confused, and I told him that. Your timetable, you're revealing yourself. What you do with your time is revealing what you are about to me. You have to ask questions. You have to get answers. What do you do with your time? This is a Sankirtan movement. When we were in the temples, Ram Raghava, you know what we did all day? From morning to night, from 4 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night? We were involved in Sankirtan, and it was a strict program. Here we have independence. People can do what they want, and they do. They create their own classes. They have their own schedule of preaching. They do their own writing. But are they really getting the message by association with Prabhupada disciples in a society like this? Well, are they producing the Srimad Bhagavatam? Are they trying to distribute it? The Delhi Bhagavatams? Do they have thousands of hours of programming that they're creating for the future generations of this human society? No. But they're doing something. Okay, fair enough. Please, this Sankirtan movement is a coordinated effort by devotees who are serious about following Srila Prabhupada's orders to spread this movement the way he taught us when he was with us. This is not a concoction, mental speculation. And this is going on. If you're serious about this process, you're going to be serious about coming to these programs. And I want to make a point here. Go ahead, go around and see all the programs that are existing online, and you compare them to this program. Hey, Mother Ruchisha, go ahead. Find some people that are creating this kind of atmosphere and the proper use of time and money. There are two aspects to that. And we're working towards a more unified effort with our group to help people in this society get a better understanding of how they should use their time in the association of devotees to propagate the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya without any confusion and mental speculation. And this is going on. Prabhupada used to say that all the time. And this is going on. All the nonsense is going on. We're going to move to our next section of the program, which is Our Living Guru. It's a pamphlet or booklet that was put together years ago. And it gives us some insight into things that have gone on pre-pastimes of Prabhupada before his departure and post-pastimes of Prabhupada. These are all pastimes of our spiritual master. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yashodanandana Prabhu, please.
We are reading from Our Living Guru, which was written in 1993, compiled in 1993, from chapter 2, point number 10. Question: in essence, why should we seek out an eternal preceptor guru who is fully liberated, free of all material conditioning? Answer: the spiritually liberated eternal preceptor guru can take us to the highest level of devotional service, whereas the non-liberated living guru may even fail to rise to these levels himself. As Srila Prabhupada writes, this is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, Text 39, quote, the Lord reveals his identity gradually to one who has unflinching faith, both in the spiritual master and the Lord. After this, the devotee is endowed with mystic opulences, which are 8 in number. And above all, the devotee is accepted in the confidential entourage of the Lord through the agency of the spiritual master. How can we be accepted in the confidential entourage of the Lord and entrusted with specific service of the Lord? Through the agency of the spiritual master. In other words, we have to take shelter of Srila Prabhupada, the liberated, completely self-realized and Krishna-conscious eternal preceptor guru, who himself is in that confidential entourage of Lord Krishna. In San Francisco in 1975, a reporter asked Srila Prabhupada who would succeed him. Reporter: What will happen to the movement in the United States when you die? Prabhupada, I will never die. Devotees, Jai, Victory, Haribol. Prabhupada, I shall live from my books and you will utilize. Why didn't Prabhupada say he would live through to his soon-to-be appointed living guru representatives? The connection to a devotee who is in the Lord's confidential entourage is essential. He can award the 8 misting opulences, and above all, he can claim back the fallen souls and bring them into the spiritual kingdom of God. Srila Prabhupada foretold that he would live on perpetually in his books to guide souls back into the confidential entourage of the Lord. For their part, many of the GBC's so-called living gurus have at times entered the entourage of impersonal New Age fad movements, narcotic and psychedelic drugs, illicit sex, homosexual activities, contracting AIDS, pedophilia, eating meat, smoking cigarettes, drinking beer, stealing, embezzling, physically harming dissidents, and so forth. Some would have innocent aspirants become eternally connected to such persons. But why? Aren't such persons obstructing the aspirant's connection to Srila Prabhupada, their liberated, completely Krishna-conscious, eternal preceptor guru? So, we can perhaps sense why Srila Prabhupada displayed such disdain for the notion of the living, non-realized guru. To whom it may concern. Thank you very much. Back to you in the studio. Hare Krishna, Hare.
Thank you. Water is pure. Yes, it is. But when it's put in with oil, it becomes unusable as water. Krishna consciousness is a pure philosophy, and when it's not adulterated by personal motive with mental speculation, then it is a fountain of nectar that we all can relish, period. And when you understand this principle of purity is the force, then you can understand the power of the transcendental message coming from the pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada. And we'll move ahead with our next section of the program, which is another lecture from Srila Prabhupada for everyone's listening, educational enjoyment. Hare Krishna.
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam. So it is very difficult. Nobody can understand Krishna without become a pure devotee of Krishna. Because Krishna says, Bhaktyamam avijanati javan jaschami tattva. Tattva in truth. Tattva means truth. If one wants to understand Krishna as he is, then he has to take this process of devotion, bhakti, rishikena, rishikesha sevanam bhakti richate. When one is employed as the servitor of Rishikesha, the master of senses. Master and Rishikena, when your senses are also engaged in the service of the master of the senses, then you also become master of the senses. You also, because your senses are engaged in the service of the Rishikesha, the senses have no other opportunity to be engaged, locked up. Savai mana Krishna padaravindu. So, this is the process of devotional service. If you want to become master of the senses, Goswami, Swami, then you should always keep your senses engaged in the service of Rishikesha. That is the only way. Otherwise, it is not possible. As soon as you become little slack to engage your senses in the service of the master of the senses, immediately Maya is there. Come on, please. This is it. Krishna bhuliya jeev bhogavansha kore, pasete maya tare japotiya dhore. As soon as you forget Krishna, even for a moment, immediately Maya is there. Please, my dear friend, come here. Therefore, we have to become very cautious. We cannot forget Krishna even for a moment. That was the chanting purpose. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Always remember Krishna. Then Maya will not be able to touch you. Mami mujaprapadanti, Maya mitang taranti. Maya cannot touch. Just like Haridas Thakur. He was engaged in the service of Rishikesha, and Maya came in full-fledged strength. Still she was defeated. Haridas Thakur was not defeated.
Okay. I was just speaking to our co-host, Ram Raghava, so I apologize. We're in a constant background of activity while we're producing the show, and it's a very interesting experience because we have international participants while we're rolling out the show, and you'll be able to see them in the credits as we move along. We're going to go to the next section of the program. Ram Raghava, is it the 10 offenses?
Yes, Prabhu, it's the recitation of the 10 offenses followed by one round of japa and then the ending bunch of kalpa prayers.
Okay, and we'll move forward. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of the program today, and please contact your friends throughout the world. Let's do a question from Neela Sharma first before we move to this section. Go ahead, Neela Sharma, your question.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu, go ahead.
My question is, Yashodanand Prabhu, is that
Yes.
you read the very famous quote where Prabhupada says that I will live through my books and you shall utilize. Now, the killing of Srila Prabhupada has been completed by ISKCON and their followers is by changing their books. If Prabhupada is going to live through his books, and when the books have been changed, is Prabhupada still alive in ISKCON? That's my question to you. Hari Bol.
So if you, there's a temple in Chennai, in Madras. It's called Parthasarathi Temple in Mylapore. Very old temple. I was told by one Brahmin that that deity was from the previous Yuga, Dwapara Yuga. Ramanuja went there, all the Acharyas went there, very special temple. It's a huge deity. It's like almost 8-9 feet tall, beautiful worship. And in that temple, you can sometimes they cook this very special paramannam. Paramannam in Sanskrit means sweet rice. Now they cook this sweet rice with obviously rice and milk, and they put certain spices like cardamom and sometimes a little camphor, different spices, and they will not tell the recipe to anyone. It's amazingly tasty, very nice prasadam. They also cook some puris that taste just like chocolate. They cook it with wheat and molasses, very special recipes. Now, what happens if somebody puts salt in the sweet rice? And if you buy that sweet rice, when you taste it, obviously, it's not going to be sweet rice. Now, it looks like sweet rice. It has the appearance of sweet rice, but it's really not sweet rice. Why? They've changed the recipe. Somebody changes the recipe, it no longer has the same original purity, even though it may look like it. Same thing with these revised books. Prabhupada did not want his books constantly revised and re-edited, because I've had arguments put to me, oh, no, Prabhupada said in 1976 that such and such editor is really a nice devotee and whatever is done. Okay, that's good. We're not here to criticize or condemn any devotee. That's not the point here. The point is in 1977, when Srila Prabhupada found out that his books were being re-edited after the first edition, he stated the next printing again should be the original way. In other words, revert back to the original recipe. I've often told the story how in Los Angeles, one very prominent book distributor was in Srila Prabhupada's room. He personally told me that story in Badger, California. And Prabhupada had the Krishna book on his desk, and Prabhupada pointed out to the publishers and the editors, he says, this book, when you print it, you show them the cover. He pointed to the cover. He says, this book, when you print it, it should be from this cover. He turned back the back cover to this cover, and everything inside completely the same. Was that instruction followed? Is that instruction followed? Right on my shelf here, Vijay Pandit Prabhu very kindly reorganized the room, and I have got several editions of the Bhagavad Gita, the 1968 edition, the original 1972 edition, the revised 1983 edition, the French edition, because I like to study and analyze and compare things. So it's a situation where we have over here in the right corner these different books. Now we know the 1968 edition was authorized by Srila Prabhupada. We know the 1972 edition was authorized by Srila Prabhupada. And we also know that the 1983 edition was not authorized by Prabhupada. There's no record anywhere of Srila Prabhupada asking any GBC sannyasi editor to go back to the manuscript and make 5,000 changes in my book. No, nobody has got that instruction. As a matter of fact, there is a record that was sent to one of the editor's associates asking him for that evidence, whether they had any statement from Srila Prabhupada that he told them to go back to the manuscript and rewrite the book. They cannot prove that. So in other words, what is that book? It's like salt in the sweet rice. They think it's bona fide. We know it's not, because Prabhupada never approved and never requested them to change. Prabhupada used to often say, when you change, even if you change one word, the authenticity is lost. The purity is lost. This is the problem. Same thing with so many instructions of Srila Prabhupada, whether it's initiation, whether it's kirtan, whether it's deity worship, so many nonsense changes have taken place by misinterpretation. So many misinterpretations. And this is a very important point which we have to remember ourselves. In 1969, on the 18th of October, Prabhupada wrote to the late secretary, I've got this personal experience in my Guru Maharaj institution. October 18th, 1969, letter to Tamal Krishna from Tittenhurst, England. I've got this personal experience in my Guru Maharaj institution. Different godbrothers took the words of Guru Maharaj in different interpretations for sense gratification, and the whole mission disrupted. This is still going on for the last 40 years without any proper settlement. I'm always afraid of this great crack, but I'm sure if our aim is to serve Krishna sincerely and the spiritual masters simultaneously, that will be our success. That means serve Krishna and the spiritual masters simultaneously with equal faith and serious vow, then success is sure. The point being here, it's been almost 46 years since Prabhupada departed, and the same situation is there because of different interpretations for sense gratification. I hope it helps. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you very much, Yashoda. Neil Sharma, thank you for the question. I wanted to make a point here, Yashoda. You made a very very interesting point at the beginning. We are not here, Neil Sharma, to criticize people for their mundane approach to bhakti yoga. We are here to clarify the facts so that everybody gets a proper understanding of Prabhupada's teachings. It's clarification, not criticizing, not criticism, clarification. And if any of you have any questions, we have a board, a group of devotees that will be, their names will be shown at the end of the program. And if you want to be added to this list, you can be, if you want to be, where people can contact these individuals and ask questions. Because we had some, oh, thank you. We had a question about deity worship in the YouTube program today. We're concentrating on the subject matter today, but if you have a question about deity worship or a direction, you can contact one of our members and ask them questions, or you can get a hold of Yashodanandana Prabhu directly, and he can give you further information on that subject and other subjects which may be in your mind. You want answers to questions. We're here to answer them, to help you. We have a group of devotees that are working together to clarify the truth, not criticize people that are deviants. We're exposing it, but we're not criticizing. So wanted to clarify that, Rochisha Devi Dasi, for all of the people here on the program. And we want to thank everyone. Our attendance is more dynamic these days. We appreciate that. And this is a sign that Krishna is helping, Prabhupada is helping us to propagate the truth of the matter globally through all of your participation and your assistance. So a pat on the back to everybody. And thank you for coming earlier for the program at the quarters to, say, 10 Eastern Standard Time to start the japa class. We're adding some new things coming up, so stay tuned for that. We're going to go to the offenses section of the program and then the chanting of japa and obeisances. Haribo.
Nectar of Devotion, Chapter 8, Offenses to be Avoided. The offenses against the chanting of the holy name are as follows. First, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Second, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. Sometimes the atheistic class of men take it that any demigod is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. But one who is a devotee knows that no demigod, however great he may be, is independently as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, if someone thinks that he can chant Kali, Kali or Durga, Durga, and it is the same as Hare Krishna, that is the greatest offense. Third, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Fourth, to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version. Fifth, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. Sixth, to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord. Seventh, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord. Because by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can be freed from all kinds of sinful reactions. It should not be taken that one may continue to act sinfully and after that chant Hare Krishna to neutralize his sins. Such a dangerous mentality is very offensive and should be avoided. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities. Karma Kanda. 9th, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Anyone can take part in chanting the holy name of the Lord. But in the beginning, one should not be instructed about the transcendental potency of the Lord. Those who are too sinful cannot appreciate the transcendental glories of the Lord, and therefore it is better not to instruct them in this matter. 10th, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names, and to maintain material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Rama
Ram,
Rama, Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Rama, Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Rama, Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare Rama,
Ram
Rama,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Rama,
Hare Ram,
Hare Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Hare,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Hare,
Rama,
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna, Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Rama Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Hare Rama, Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare
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 Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Rama, Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram,
Rama, Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare, Hare
Rama,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Rama, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Hare Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Rama,
Ram
Hare Rama,
Ram, Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama, Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Rama,
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Hare Hare,
Rama, Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama, Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Rama, Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Chant and be happy.
Let us offer our respectful obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnava devotees. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who can fulfill the desires of everyone just like desire trees, and who are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Thanks everybody for participating in this reading and discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you to Vishwakarma Prabhu in Yaltopec, Mexico, Ram Raghava Prabhu in Georgia, Rashikeshwari Devi Dasi, and Ram Raghava's father, Viprahita, both in Georgia, Pierangelo in Switzerland, Krishna Kata Prabhu in San Diego, Veera Bhadra Goswami Prabhu in South India, Madame Rochisa Devidasi dans la belle province de Quebec, Michael Dillon in Yuba City, California, Bhakta Roy in Mississippi, Bhaktin Sushma, wherever you are, I don't know where you are, Rupa Goswami Prabhu in Mumbai, India, Forest Temple, in Mexico, Baja, Mexico, Ambika Mataji in St. Mary's, Alaska, Shrestha Rupa Devidasi in South India, Anshuman Prabhu in Orissa, Subburama in Sri Rangam, Tamil Nadu, India, Bhakta Vaibhav in India, Kevin G, wherever you are, I don't know where you are, but you got a beautiful picture with your posting there. Kanta Prabhu in Trinidad, and everybody listening. Thank you for participating. And please join us again on Wednesday afternoon at 5 o'clock p.m. We'll have another interesting reading on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Back to you in the studio. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, everyone. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the distribution of the Delhi Bhagavatams globally by the Prabhupada Disciples Association, Hare Krishna Society.
I'm listening. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Play that bass, chant in peace. Don't be shy, chant along, chant along. Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Bo, Hare Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Hare Bo, Hare Hare Bo, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,